All right, let's talk about that moment. Every writer knows it. That terrifying, bright white, totally blank page. You've got a new story to tell, a whole world to build, but just starting? It can feel impossible. But what if I told you there's a rule, a kind of secret weapon that can completely change how you tackle that problem? Well, today we're going to break it all down.
So, does this look familiar? You've got an idea, right? A spark. But the thought of turning that little spark into a full-blown story feels huge. You are definitely not alone. This is exactly where so many amazing ideas just fizzle out. But the trick isn't to just force yourself to write more. It's about changing how you think about writing in the first place.
Okay, look at this number, 50%. Now, what in the world could that have to do with screenwriting? It's not about writing half a script, I can tell you that. No, this number is actually the key. It represents a huge shift in the creative process, and it's how you're going to unlock your story.
And this gets us to the absolute core of it all. Great stories, the ones that really stick with you, they aren't just born from some frantic burst of inspiration. They're built on a solid foundation of analysis. The whole argument we're digging into today is that before you even type "fade in," half of the real work should already be finished.
So, what is this 50%? Well, it's all about the deep dive work of finding and analyzing reference films. Seriously, this prep work is one of the most important and, yeah, sometimes one of the most time-consuming parts of starting a new screenplay. So today, let's break down the 3 big pillars of this whole analysis process.
First up, Pillar 1. It's all about sharpening your message. Because, let's be honest, every great story is trying to say something, right? But how do you make sure your audience is actually going to get it? Well, this is where analysis becomes your best friend.
We call this message analysis, and it's basically about learning from the masters. Once you know the unique message you want to send, you can start looking at other films that touched on a similar theme. It's kind of like getting your hands on the architect's blueprint, showing you exactly how a big idea can be built into a living, breathing story on screen.
And the key here is you're not just kicking back and watching movies for fun. You're dissecting them. Find those films that are speaking your language. Pinpoint the exact scenes that make the theme land. What are they doing? Is it the dialogue, the imagery, a specific plot twist? This whole process gives you a toolkit you can use to build your own meaning.
Okay, so once your message is sharp and clear, the next question is pretty obvious. Who is going to deliver that message? And that brings us to Pillar 2. You need characters who are going to live and breathe and struggle with your theme. And yep, you guessed it, analysis is gonna guide you here too.
Now, character analysis isn't about making carbon copies. Not at all. It's about using existing characters as a launchpad. Once your message is set, you can go find films that have similar kinds of people. You know, the reluctant hero, the wise old mentor, the tragic villain, and you get to study what makes them tick.
And the magic word here is adaptation, not imitation. You can take the motivation from one character, a fatal flaw from another, and the incredible transformation arc from a third. Then you mix and match, you twist and turn those traits until you forged a brand new, totally original person who is perfect for your story. And now, we come to the final pillar, and honestly, this one might be the most powerful of all. This is where analysis basically gives you a superpower, the ability to kind of see into the future, to get a real sense of how an audience might actually react to your story. Just think about it for a second. By digging into the reviews, the online discussions, the video essays about your reference films, you get a direct pipeline into the audience's brain. You can see which plot twists blew their minds, which characters they loved or loved to hate, and which parts just didn't land. It's like getting a free focus group before you've even written a single scene.
This is so incredibly useful. You can start to see patterns in what people praise and what they criticize. Maybe audiences always feel let down by the ending in these kinds of stories, or maybe a certain character's motivation always comes off as a little weak. This data lets you see those traps ahead of time and beef up your own script to avoid them.
So let's put it all together now. Sharpening your message, building characters from a solid blueprint, and even predicting how your audience might feel. These 3 pillars, they are the foundation. They are the first half of the battle.
And here's what that looks like. It's a perfect 50-50 split, a perfect balance. One half is that deep, methodical, crucial analysis. And the other half? That's you. That's your unique voice, your creativity, your spark. You really can't have one without the other.
The source material we're looking at says it perfectly. The process of analysis is 50% of the writing. The process of adapting it to your own story is the other 50%. See? Analysis gives you the clay, the blueprint, the raw ingredients.
but your creative work. That's what transforms all of that stuff into something that's new, something that's personal, and something that's powerful.
So you see, that blank page? It isn't some enemy you have to conquer with sheer force of will. It's a destination. It's where you arrive after you've done your homework. So the next time you feel stuck, don't just try to write harder. Start by watching. Start by analyzing. Which really just leaves one question for you. For that story you're dying to tell, what's the first film you're going to analyze?